So, where did you begin on your spiritual journey? Was it a book? Was it an adventure? What was it? What started you on your own spiritual path? Well, in today's video, that's what I'm going to discuss. I'm going to discuss my spiritual path and where it all began. My name is Douglas, and this is my story. So for me, it began in 1997. I came across a book called The Celestine Prophecy. If you haven't heard of that book, it's a really excellent book. Especially, I would say this about The Celestine Prophecy. It's a good book if you are starting a spiritual journey. It's a great intro book. The story, it's about a guy who goes to Peru looking for 9 manuscripts. It's a really, really good book. Even if you are into spirituality, you need like a refresher. It's a great refresher book as well. So I come across this book. It was a seniors honors class reading. It was seniors honors class reading material. I had a friend that was in the class. I was just in a regular CP English class. I had to read Jurassic Park, which I didn't read. Probably would have been better if I read The Celestine Prophecy. But, so she tells me about the book. She goes, oh, this sounds like something you'd be interested in. So, I get the book. So from 97 till 2002, I probably had 3 or 4 false starts on the book. I would start it, I would end like in the 3rd, 4th chapter, and I would stop reading it. It'd be so long since I read it, I'd have to start it over again because I forgot what I just read. So I started over again, false start, false starting. So, like I said, probably happened like 3 or 4 times. So finally in 2002, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna read this. So I sat down, I read it, I got through it in a week. It's a very easy read. So that book was very influential on me. So on July 14th, 2003, I packed my shit. I mean, not everything. I packed just, a suitcase and whatever. And I went cross country. Because I was like, I need to get the hell out of Dodge. And I just need to, I need to get out. So I was working for a restaurant at the time. It was a corporate restaurant. And I'll give you a hint. It's the day at the end of the week that begins the weekend, and it begins in F. That's it. That's the only hint I'm giving you about the restaurant. That's where I worked. So through this restaurant, I was able to get a thing called a passport, where I can work for any this restaurant in this country. If you haven't figured it out, it was Fridays. TGI Fridays had a passport program where I can go to one restaurant and call them up beforehand and be like, hey, my name's Douglas Rodriguez. I want to come work at your restaurant, yada, yada, yada. So I go on this cross-country trip. So on the trip, I'm reading, I'm also reading other books on spirituality and whatnot. And I went from New Jersey to North Carolina, then from North Carolina to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I went to Denver, Colorado. And then I loved Denver so much, I wound up moving there the following year. I wound up going to Las Vegas for like a day or two, not my gig. Went into California for like an hour, and then wound up turning around, going to Grand Canyon, going to Denver, getting some money just to get home for Christmas, because I went from July of 2003 till December 15th. I came home on the 15th of December of 2003. So on this trip, like I said, I'm reading other books on spirituality, and one of the things I came across was about selling your personal possessions, about, you should have your possessions possess you, and that you don't need all this stuff. So upon coming home on this trip and reading what I've read about, your possessions, and you should have your possessions possess you and whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sell my Star Wars shit. I was a huge Star Wars fan back in the day. Like, I was like nerd, like real nerd on Star Wars. Like, I had figures from episode 1 still in the box in a comic book bag, taped. Like, I had a bunch of figures. I had a speeder bike, like a nice size speeder bike in a box still. I had a bunch of shit. I was like, you know what? I was like 25, 26. Like, you know what? I don't need my Star Wars shit. I feel I can let this go. So also at the time, I was friends with this guy. We'll just call him Tyler Durden. I was friends with Tyler Durden at the time. So, because that was his attitude. If you haven't seen Fight Club, go watch Fight Club. But if you've seen Fight Club, then you know how this guy's attitude was. So, he goes, well, you should sell everything. I was like, oh, I should sell everything. So I literally just about sold all my shit. Most of my CDs, most of my DVD collection, a television, because I had to be more spiritual. I can't have my possessions possessing me and like, oh, I can't be doing this. He was not the best influence on my life, Tyler Durden. I can understand, you know, where he was coming from, but I was so like influential and so like just stupid. You shouldn't be listening to other people. You gotta listen to you. So I go and sell everything. I mean, to the point where I also play guitar. I'm a singer-songwriter. I also sold my first electric guitar that I bought with my own money when I bought it back in high school in the mid-90s. I remember buying that guitar. It was a Fender Strat. I wound up getting another Fender Strat like about 10 years ago. It's actually a better Strat that I have now than what I had. But still, it was my first guitar. Sold it to a friend of mine, different person, who he wasn't the best. He wasn't that good of a friend either. So it was probably January, February that I go on eBay and I start selling everything. I mean, concert tickets. I mean, I had a U2 autographed concert ticket from the drummer Larry Mullen Jr. that I got autographed. A show I went to, and I sold the ticket on eBay. Like, it was a fire sale, again, for being more spiritual. So then, I was kind of like, at the time, I was kind of like teetering about moving back to Colorado, back to Denver. Well, going back, I was visited. Now I wanted to go live out there because I fell in love with it. So I remember one of the girls I worked with, she's like, don't chicken out. If you're going to do it, if you want to do it, do it. So what I did was I came across a concert ticket for Rush. And Rush, I love Rush. Rush is a great band. If you don't know who Rush is, go look them up. Make sure you're wearing a helmet so you don't make a mess when they blow your mind. They're amazing. So what I did was I bought a ticket to the Red Rock show at the end of June. So I go on eBay, I find a ticket, and I'm like, all right, I'm going. I gotta go now. I have a ticket to go to the show. I'm not gonna buy a ticket and not go. So I continue selling my shit. So I wind up leaving to Colorado, back to Denver. Probably the show was at the end of June. The show was the 29th, 30th. So I probably left a good week before I left. So I wind up moving out there. I go to the show. I had no place to live. I made friends I made a few friends I talked to today that I made out there. These guys from Iowa, they're good guys. They're very good people. So I met them, and you know, I didn't stay with them, but I just kind of like stayed in my car for a little bit, found a place in Denver. I moved in, so I wound up living there basically from like, we'll say the beginning of July till February, March. I wound up leaving. My grandmother had passed away, so I went to the funeral. The week of the funeral, I was like, you know what? Everyone's out here I'm from New Jersey, so like everyone's out from New Jersey. So I wind up moving back home. So from July of 2003 till like March of 2005, I wound up going cross country, moving back home, selling my shit in the sake of spirituality, listening to somebody else. Unfortunately, that's fucking my problem. Going back and living in Denver for 9 months, then going back and living in New Jersey. That's a hell of a ride. I did wind up getting some of my stuff back that I sold. I didn't get everything back, but like I said, I bought a new guitar. I have a few guitars now. When I sold my electric, I still had an acoustic. So it's like, I sold shit, but I didn't sell everything. It was just, as weird as it was, I mean, I did learn, you always gotta look at the silver lining, what's happening in your life. And you gotta be like, all right, went on a cross-country trip, that was awesome. I got to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I went to the Grand Canyon. I lived in North Carolina for a little bit. I got to see the Midwest, just all flatlands. I went to Denver, which I fell in love with. It's a great city. So what's the moral of the story? One, you're on a spiritual journey, you don't have to sell your shit to be more spiritual. And two, you shouldn't be listening to other people. If you want to sell your shit, but do it on your terms and make sure you're selling it because you want to part ways with it. I didn't do that. All I was comfortable with selling was my Star Wars stuff. And that was it. I wanted to listen to someone else because I thought the dude was my friend, but at the end of the day, the guy was there with my friend. If you enjoyed this video, put a like, give a like, make a comment, subscribe to the channel. I got more stories like this, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.